The bank was quiet that morning until the shouting started. A black woman in a neat gray business suit stood at the counter, her voice calm but firm. "I already verified the transfer twice," she said, showing her ID again. "All I need is access to my safe deposit box." The teller, a young man with nervous eyes, looked over her documents and frowned. Before he could answer, the branch manager, a middle-aged white man with a forced smile, walked over, glancing her up and down. "Ma'am," he said sharply, "this area is for premium clients. You'll need to wait outside." She raised an eyebrow. "Excuse me." He leaned closer. "You heard me. We've had issues with people trying to fake accounts lately." The woman's jaw tightened. "Are you saying I don't belong here?" He smirked. "I'm saying you're making our customers uncomfortable." That was all it took. Within seconds, two bulky security guards walked up behind her. She turned, startled. "Sir, there's no need for this," she said, stepping back slightly. "I have proof of identity." But the manager waved his hand dismissively. "Escort her out. Now." One of the guards grabbed her arm. She tried to pull free, but the other one grabbed her by the shoulder, forcing her toward the marble floor. "Let go of me," she shouted. People in line gasped. Phones came out. The guards dragged her across the polished tiles as the manager barked, "Call the police." Her purse fell to the ground, spilling across the floor, pens, papers, car keys, and then something metallic slid out and clinked against the marble. Everyone froze. A dark leather badge holder lay open under the light. The gold emblem gleamed, Federal Bureau of Investigation. The nearest guard's grip loosened immediately. The manager's face went white. The woman slowly pushed herself up, brushed her sleeve, and turned around with ice in her eyes. "You just assaulted a federal agent," she said quietly, voice cutting through the silence. Every phone in the room was recording now. The manager stumbled back, his voice trembling. This must be some mistake. You can't just show up and." She cut him off coldly. "Finish that sentence," she said, stepping closer, her FBI badge shining against her jacket. "Go ahead. Tell me again how I don't belong here." The guards froze in place, realizing how bad it was. One tried to stammer an apology, but she raised a hand, silencing him. The customers, once whispering, were now openly recording every second. She knelt calmly, picked up her scattered items, and slid the badge case back into her pocket. "You didn't even ask for my name before you put your hands on me," she said softly. "Do you treat all your premium clients like this, or just the black ones?" The manager swallowed hard. "Ma'am, please, we were just following protocol." "Your protocol," she said, "involves assaulting citizens without cause. Discriminating based on skin color." He opened his mouth to argue, but she was already pulling out her phone. "Good," she said quietly, pressing a button. "Then you can explain it to Internal Affairs." A faint beep came from her phone speaker. "Agent Carter," a calm voice said from the other end. "You okay?" "Yeah," she replied evenly. "I'm fine. But we're going to need a team here. I just got assaulted in a downtown bank by staff who thought I didn't belong." The manager's knees seemed to buckle slightly. "Wait, a team?" She looked him straight in the eyes. "FBI protocol. Whenever an agent is assaulted during an active case, the local branch becomes a federal investigation scene." People in line began whispering louder. "Oh my God," one woman said. "They're in trouble." Within minutes, sirens echoed outside. Two black SUVs pulled up, and men in suits rushed in with calm authority. "Agent Carter," one of them called. She nodded, pointing toward the trembling manager. "That's him. He gave the order." The manager stammered, "Why you can't do this? We didn't know who she was." One of the agents turned to him, voice low but firm. "You didn't need to know who she was. You just needed to follow the law." The guards exchanged terrified looks as one of the agents took their names. Cameras flashed. And as the entire bank watched in stunned silence, Agent Carter leaned in close to the manager and said in a calm, almost whispering tone, the kind that could break a man's pride. "You didn't drag out a customer today," she said. "You dragged out your career." Then she straightened, handed over her report, and walked toward the exit as the crowd broke into quiet applause. As Agent Carter stepped outside, the sunlight hit her face, and for a moment, she closed her eyes, breathing deeply. Behind her, chaos filled the once proud bank. Agents were taping off sections of the lobby, taking statements, and seizing security footage. The same guards who had dragged her minutes ago now sat against the wall, heads down, hands trembling. Reporters were already arriving, flashing cameras, microphones, shouts. "Agent Carter, is it true the bank assaulted a federal agent?" She didn't respond. She simply walked toward her black SUV, her heels clicking sharply against the pavement. But before she could get in, a shaky voice called out from behind her. "Agent Carter, wait." It was the branch manager, his tie loosened, his arrogance completely gone. He jogged toward her, sweating. "Please," he said, voice breaking. "It was a misunderstanding. You have to tell them I didn't mean it that way." She turned slowly, her expression unreadable. "You humiliated me in front of everyone," she said quietly. "You ordered your men to drag me across the floor. You didn't ask questions. You made assumptions." He nodded desperately. "I'll lose everything. My job, my pension." She took a step closer, her voice low and steady. "I lost something too," she said. "My father was a banker. Worked 30 years in a suit just like yours. One day, he got dragged out of his own branch because someone thought a black man in a tie must be suspicious." The manager froze, eyes wide. Her tone softened slightly, but her words hit hard. "So when you did that today," she said, "you didn't just grab my arm. You pulled open an old wound this country never seems to let heal." He looked like he wanted to cry, but she didn't let him speak. She opened her car door, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "Maybe now, you'll think twice before deciding who belongs." She got in and closed the door. The window rolled down halfway as she glanced back once more. "By the way," she added calmly, "that transfer, you denied. It was an undercover test from the bureau. You just failed it." The manager's mouth fell open. What? Her SUV pulled away slowly as his world collapsed behind her. Through the rearview mirror, she saw him drop to his knees on the marble steps, the same steps where she had been dragged not even an hour ago. She whispered under her breath, "Justice doesn't always wear a badge, but today, it did." And as her car disappeared down the street, the FBI vehicles remained behind, locking the doors of the very bank that had locked her dignity away, until she took it back herself. By evening, the story had spread everywhere, from local news to national headlines. FBI agent dragged out of bank in mistaken identity case. The footage, caught by witnesses, phones, went viral within hours. Millions watched as Agent Carter calmly revealed her badge, turning humiliation into power. In the bureau's downtown headquarters, she sat across from her director, a stern but proud man. "You handled it with restraint," he said, sliding her a file. "The Justice Department's launching a full discrimination probe. The bank's CEO already issued a public apology." Carter nodded quietly. "An apology doesn't erase what happened," she said. "But maybe it'll make them think before doing it again." The director leaned back. "You've got that fire your father had. He'd be proud." She gave a faint smile. "He taught me never to lose my cool, even when the world's trying to drag you down." Her phone buzzed, hundreds of messages from strangers thanking her for standing her ground. One said, "You spoke for all of us who've been told we don't belong." Another read, "Finally, someone showed them what real authority looks like." She looked out the window at the city skyline glowing under the dusk sky. "Funny," she murmured, "how quick people are to judge a face before they see the badge." The director stood and walked around the desk. "Agent Carter," he said, handing her a new folder, "we've got a position opening up, Assistant Director of Field Operations. It's yours if you want."